Hello. For my multimodal composition revision, I decided to make a slideshow since my original podcast was less than impressive. This slideshow will include various pictures from my life to illustrate my literacy narrative in a multimodal format. Let me introduce myself and provide some personal background and context. I'm Ethan Roberts, a 19-year-old Seton Hill student athlete from Victor, New York. My literacy journey starts with my parents, as many children's do. Neither of my parents went to college, but with hard work and dedication, they both ended up with rewarding careers. Although they've been able to achieve their career goals without continuing their educations beyond high school, they were both determined for their only child to attend college. While my mother has always been an avid reader, my father, like myself, doesn't read unless he has to. When I was very young, my parents used to read to me before bed like many parents do. My favorite books included Goodnight Moon, The Giving Tree, and The Velveteen Rabbit. As I got older and they stopped reading to me, I had zero interest in reading, especially in my free time. I always associated reading as a fun activity either in school or with my parents, and reading alone just wasn't the same at all. Instead of reading and writing, my parents encouraged me to be active, to play outdoors, to participate in sports, and to interact and socialize with my peers. I feel like I have a different outlook than most people when it comes to reading and writing, which is that you don't need to be amazing at it to live a successful or fulfilling life. I suspect that this idea stems from me knowing several extremely intelligent and successful people that don't advocate literacy strength as a necessity. As an elementary student, I was a very good reader. In school, we used to have to do reading tests that timed how fast you could read a piece from a book. I was usually at the top of these lists with fast reading times. Due to this, I was placed in the higher level reading classes, which I did not mind at all because many of my friends were also in them. In third grade, my favorite book was Where the Wild Things Are. Ironically, that same year, they made a movie about it. My mom and I watched it in the theater, and as we were leaving, I was hysterically crying because I was sad for Carl, a character in the book, who died in the movie. Once I was in middle school, I became less and less of a reader. For a while, I was into the Die of a Wimpy Kid book series and Goosebumps. As I started playing competitive sports, my interest in reading declined, as did my free time. Most of my weekends were spent either traveling to out-of-state tournaments or having multiple practices daily. Any free time I did have was spent at the lake or doing activities with my friends and family. Before this class, I wasn't very familiar with reading strategies and how much I could benefit from using them. After taking this class, I have new tools that have helped me become a more focused and engaged reader, such as annotating and highlighting key things. I found this in a source called Active Reading Strategies. It explains several different strategies to use, and I found that annotating would be the most useful to me. Throughout my literacy journey, I've had a handful of people that I would consider literacy sponsors, such as teachers, coaches, and grandparents. Ultimately, though, there is only one true literacy sponsor in my life, and that would be my mom. Although she didn't force me to read and write in my free time when I was younger, she has always encouraged me to be a stronger student overall, but especially in my writing. She saw in me somebody that had better opportunities than a lot of our family and could actually go to a good college and get a good degree. Once she realized that, there was nothing that could stop her from making sure I went to college. She became a little crazy about my efforts in school, but she became a good crazy. I can for a fact say that if she was not my mom, I would have zero chance of going to college. There is no other mom out there that believes in their kids so much, despite all of the academic struggles I have had. The last gift she gave me before I moved away to college was none other than a book, of course. She discovered this book in the midst of the pandemic during the time we learned we wouldn't have a senior lacrosse season or prom or graduation. The book is Let Me Hold You Longer by Karen Kingsbury. There have definitely been some ups and downs, probably more downs throughout my literacy journey, although the lessons that I have learned have been instrumental in my pursuit of higher education. This project has given me great insight and has actually been pretty fun to make. In the beginning, I was of the mindset that literacy wasn't a big part of my life. As I was going through pictures of my childhood books, it made me realize how important reading once was to me and the significant role it played in my childhood. If this project had been text only, it wouldn't have had the same impact at all. Without the photographs, I would have missed out on reflecting back to the moments I had while reading those books. Thank you for watching. I hope it was as enlightening to you as a viewer as it was to me during the creation process.